Hey y'all, good morning. So, did y'all watch the thing about the presidential library? I ain't really watch it. I just saw the highlights for it. Um, Michelle's speech. That was the thing. Michelle's speech and how tired Barack looked. He looked really tired. And what else? I didn't really notice anything else about it, right? I saw pictures of people that were there. Dave Chappelle. Who else came across my feed that I remember? I don't really remember. I saw Barack sliding down a slide, but I was curious to see who all was invited and who wasn't. And I was quite surprised that Trump was not invited because I have rarely seen Barack and Michelle break protocol. You know, I've saw Barack sit next to him even when Michelle would not go to the different events and stuff like that. She refused to go. She called being in the White House and him being president the crucible. That's what she said. Child. She called that the crucible, honey. So let's think about it. Who wasn't at? Hey Siri. Who was at the presidential library, the Barack Obama Center? Who was
The
it?
Barack Obama Presidential Center is an under-construction museum, library, and education project in Chicago to commemorate the presidency of Barack Obama, the 44th President of the United States. The center will also include community and conference facilities, and will house the non-profit Obama Foundation. Construction on the 19.3-acre, 7.8-ha campus began in 2021. The tower topped out in mid-2024. This answer is from Wikipedia.
Thank you, boo. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut to the chase because there was quite a few people who were there for him being the president, right? So I'm wondering. Let me see. Who all were guests at the Obama Center opening, Presidential Library in Chicago, and who wasn't there? Okay. It says the opening of the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago's Jackson Park brought together political leaders, celebrities, and thousands of supporters. The historic ceremony featured a star-studded guest list of performers and prominent figures, though a few notable names were intentionally left off or absent. Let's see. Okay. This is what I really was like, what? Former U.S. presidents Joe Biden, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton were in attendance. I remember seeing the clip where Hillary was just laughing her behind off when Michelle was like, "Yeah, Barack got that Peace Prize." Oh my God! And that was a memorable moment. Laura Bush was there. Jill Biden was there. World leaders, former German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Okay. And former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, which I didn't know that, but that's good. Performers, the star-studded entertainment lineup features Stevie Wonder, Bruce Springsteen. I want to go get my coffee. Jennifer Hudson, John Legend, which I haven't seen John Legend in a long time. Common, I didn't even know he was still alive. Christina Aguilera, Mark Anthony, Thames, I don't know who that is, Tems, I'm going to have to Google them, Eddie Vedder, John Baptiste, which I'm so happy. Oh, John Baptiste is happy these days, baby. If people only knew the real Stephen Colbert, it's a monster. And U2's Bono and The Edge. Celebrities and VIPs. Oprah Winfrey, which I expected her to be there because her show was in Chicago for so long and everything. Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Tyler Perry, Dave Chappelle, Conan O'Brien, Stephen Colbert with John Baptiste in the same room. I wonder if somebody got some video of that. David Letterman, Mark Hamill, which I can't remember who Mark Hamill is. The only Hamill I can remember is an ice skater. But anyway. Quinta Brunson and Billie Jean King were among the A-list guests. Okay, we've got a comedian, we've got actors, TV show hosts, movie directors, lots of them. Some old retired sports people, tennis people, but Serena wasn't there. Venus wasn't there. Beyonce is not mentioned. Jay-Z ain't mentioned. Lil Wayne ain't mentioned. Nicki Minaj ain't mentioned. Which, you know, Nicki Minaj wasn't gonna be. Oh my God. Notable politicians included Vice President Kamala Harris. They made up. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, Pete Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi, and Dick Durbin. Who wasn't there? Donald Trump. That's number one. Trump was notably not invited to the grand opening, continuing a long-standing feud between the two men. They don't have no feud. This is all theater. Because when Kamala lost the election or whatever, and they went to this event, and Barack was sitting up there just talking to Trump casually, that was a real deal, honey. They are cordial. All this other stuff is just theater. They're great actors. I give them that. They don't have no long-standing feud. Let's start there. Public figures mentioned in the crowd, but missing in action. Some highly profile friends of the Obamas, such as Tyler Perry and Steven Spielberg, attended the dedication ceremonies but did not make an appearance on the performance stage. How are they gonna perform? He don't sing. I mean, Tyler does sing, but they so stupid. I'm gonna ask, was Beyonce and Jay-Z and Blue Ivy, word on the street, y'all. They okay. No. Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Blue Ivy were not reported to be in attendance at the grand opening ceremony of the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. Say that? No. Which is funny, since she's the one that was singing Atlas, and then she was there at the second inauguration singing whatever she sang. I don't know what she sang. While the Obamas, a long-time personal friends with the family, have historically invited them to major milestones, such as their final White House Easter egg roll and personal farewell parties. They were not listed among the A-list attendees or musical performers for the specific dedication event. The star-studded musical lineup for the ceremony instead featured legends like Stevie Wonder, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, I don't know, but I kind of think that the reason why Michelle and Barack had a kerfuffle in their family is because of Jay-Z. I'm allegedly, this is for entertainment purposes only. I think that Jay-Z kind of farmed out the dumb girl who doesn't even have a GED to the president, and the president was with that, and Michelle found out, and she was just like, it's over, buddy boy. And she was pretty much sick of him and through with it. And because for all her education and all of that, I don't know what it is about men. I don't know what it is about men. But they aren't impressed with a woman's credentials. She don't have to have none of that. They can be into her. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I mean, my neighbor who passed away in the house by himself, he fell in love with his prostitute. He fell in love with his prostitute. And on the other hand, you have people like Jeffrey Dahmer, and you have people like, pick anyone. Clive Davis just died. I don't think that the Obamas had anything to do with Clive Davis, and he was very big in the music industry. I don't know if he had anything to do with Diddy. I'm just saying, one day, very, very soon, we're going to find out why Michelle and Barack had this little tizzy, and they were able to pull it out of the fire. But I'm telling you, and her brother was like, what are you doing coming on the show? Y'all, I'm telling y'all, listen, the drama is thick. Okay, so let me ask, what caused Barack and Michelle Obama to almost get a divorce? Let's see if anybody has mentioned anything about it. Searching. Barack and Michelle Obama never actually filed for divorce or officially separated, but they have been very candid about severe strains early in their marriage that brought them to a breaking point. I'm talking about recently. The primary causes of their deep marital tension stem from imbalanced division of child care. No, see, that's not it. Okay, the pressure of the White House. Addressing recent rumors, the couple has frequently had to push back against modern tabloid rumors of an impending split. Speculation spiked after Michelle made separate, independent schedule choices, such as not attending Jimmy Carter's funeral. Y'all remember that? Barack went by himself, baby. Or Donald Trump's inauguration alongside her husband. See, Barack followed protocol. Michelle was like, bump that. And that was the beginning of the whispers, right? Then they had this dinner. I'm telling you, something went on. You never know what goes on in marriages, honey. It's a hot mess. The Obamas addressed these rumors directly on Michelle's podcast, and that remember when he walked in on the podcast, her brother was like, because he was like, "What you doing here?" Right? Because Michelle didn't even give him a heads up that she had reconciled with him and she wasn't going to file for divorce. And I believe because Michelle, as she said in her speech, Barack was a constitutional lawyer, a constitutional, whatever it is, attorney. And they were saying that he was unqualified for the job. And she was just like, she's very into her education and all these things. And you say the Obamas addressed these rumors directly on Michelle's podcast, IMO with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson, where they joked about the gossip. Barack joked, she took me back. And Michelle, remember the expression on her face? She did not want it. She was ashamed that she did take him back for what he did. And that it wasn't that he went to Jimmy Carter's funeral and Trump's inauguration. Something big happened. Y'all read my mind. Are y'all thinking what I'm thinking? Baby, that's what I'm thinking. She took me back. It was touch and go for a while Michelle firmly stated, there hasn't been one moment in our marriage where I thought about quitting my man. That's a lie. That is a lie. I know she lying. I'm going to ask, I'm not going to ask out loud, but I'm telling y'all, it's something about the power. Even though he only earned, $500,000 a year in salary, and have an affair. Let's see if this story's got legs. Okay, so no, Barack and never had an affair. The rumor was completely fabricated by a French photographer and was immediately debunked by major media outlets and the individuals involved. Okay. The rumor started on February 10, 2014 during a radio interview with a prominent French paparazzo named Pascal Rostand. Uh, a false claim. Rostand claimed that the Washington Post was about to publish a bombshell, destructive expose revealing an ongoing secret relationship between President Obama and she who must not be named. The media frenzy. The claim was quickly picked up by reputable French media outlets like Le Figaro and immediately went viral worldwide. The rumor fell apart within hours of being broadcasted. The Washington Post denial. A spokesperson for the Washington Post immediately shut down the claim, stating it was definitely not true, and that the newspaper did not produce a plan to publish any such story. Representatives for she who must not be named formally dismissed the rumor, but they dismiss everything, Chad, don't they? They dismiss everything, calling the entire notion completely absurd. Absurd. Yeah, it's quite a word for them. The photographer retracted his statement. Faced with severe backlash, Pascal Rostand quickly walked back his comments, claiming he had spoken in jest and admitting he had no actual evidence of an affair. There's more to be revealed at a later date, pal. Have a good day, y'all.